There is a moment when faith and fear collide, when obedience feels unreasonable, when silence feels cruel. Moses stood in that moment, and everything changed. Moses, a man with a nation at his back and a sea at his heels. Thousands of breaths held in one trembling moment, the edge of extinction. You know this kind of moment, when the ground beneath you stops feeling solid, when the path behind vanishes and the one ahead is swallowed by dust and fire, sand, shuddering, a low hum rising from the earth, not wind, not thunder, the pulse of an army marching in unison, thousands of feet, synchronized, relentless, each step a tremor beneath bare soles. The dunes tremble like skin over a drum. A child flinches, the mother pulls him close, her fingers dig into his shoulder. No cry escapes him, just wide eyes, pupils swallowing light, horizon, flat, bleached by sun, then movement, a smudge, a stain on the sky, dust, rising like smoke from a fire that never stops burning. It climbs, swirls, takes shape. A wall of ochre and heat haze. Behind it, silhouettes, horses, chariots, wheels like spinning blades cutting through air. Light glints, sharp, sudden. 1,000 points of fire stabbing through the haze. Bronze spear tips, polished, hungry, reflecting the sun like cold stars fall into earth. Each one aimed forward, unblinking, unwavering. The air shivers with their approach. Then, the sound. Wheels, wooden hubs screaming against axles, iron rims crushing stone, a roar that swallows the wind. No breath, no prayer, just the grinding, thunderous advance. Closer, closer. The earth bucks with it. The sound climbs into the chest, vibrates the ribs, drowns out thought. Above it all, still, silent, a pillar, cloud by day, fire by night. Now a column of smoke, motionless against the storm of motion. It does not sway, does not retreat. Stands between the trembling camp and the oncoming tide. A boundary, a breath held in stone. Moses, alone, at the front, staff in hand. Back to the water, face to the dust. His robe flutters, thin as a prayer. Salt crusts the hem. His arms hang at his sides. Then, lift, slow. The staff rises, not to strike, not to command, but to plead, to gather silence from chaos, to hold back the scream building in 10,000 throats. And they break. A woman wails. A man shouts, words lost in the storm. Children cry, not tears, dry, gasping sounds. Hands claw at dust, at air, at each other. Regret spills like blood. Why did we leave? Why follow one man into a tomb of sand? Moses turns, just once, sees the faces, the terror, the betrayal. His jaw tightens. The staff trembles, not from fear, from weight, from the unbearable silence of the one who sent him here. Then, a whistle, thin, sharp, cutting through the noise. A shadow streaks across the sand. Thud. An arrow, buried in the ground, inches from a child's foot, feathers still trembling. The boy freezes, does not blink, does not breathe. The dust churns, the wheels roar, the spears gleam, the pillar stands, and the sea still waits. Canyon walls rise, sheer, ancient, carved by water that forgot its way. A valley below, narrow as a blade's edge. Sunlight slices across the rock face, amber, then rust, then shadow. No echo of footsteps, only the slow grind of time on stone. This is not escape, this is entrapment framed by eternity. Ash, drifting, not from fire, from parchment. Words once pressed into clay with a reed stylus, treaty clauses, loyalty oaths sworn beneath twin gods, the Hittite king's voice, thick with incense and oil, sealing fate with a seal ring. Now, gone, dissolving, letters sinking into dunes like buried teeth. Only the weight remains, the unspoken demand. You belong to me. His hands, knuckles split, fingers bent like roots from drought. One thumb bears a crescent scar, brand of the overseer's knife. He grips a stick, not a staff, not a weapon, just wood, worn smooth by years of dragging it through mud. The same hands that lifted bricks now clutch this, as if it could hold back the sky. Tremors run up his arms, not from age, from memory. The kiln's breath, flames licking the soles of bare feet. The overseer's shadow falling across the bricks, long, crooked, ending in a whip. Flash, a brick, wet clay, sun-baked until it cracks. Another, stacked in rows like bones. The overseer's voice, cracked leather, the crack, sharper, of the lash. A child's cry cut short, heat, not from sun, from within, the body burning itself to keep moving. The kiln door swings open. Orange light spills, shadows dance, twisted, leaping. One shadow wears horns, Moloch, not a god. A furnace shaped like arms, a mother's scream, swallowed, the smell of charred hair, the silence after. Freedom. The word tastes wrong, like unripe fruit, bitter. They walk, but their feet still feel chains. The desert offers no walls, yet they build them in their minds, 1,000 invisible barriers. What is a life without a master? Who are they if not slaves? The whip is gone, but the flinch remains. The body remembers obedience. The soul fears choice. To choose is to fail. To fail is to burn. He remembers the tablet, not stone, clay, damp. The scribe's hand pressing symbols. You shall serve no other gods. The ink, blood dark. The oath, sworn over a split lamb. Fire consuming the halves. If you break this, so shall you be broken. The wind carries the scent of burnt wool. Now, no tablet, no fire. Only a pillar, silent, watching. Is it protection or witness? A child stumbles. Dust coats his lips. His mother does not lift him. Her eyes are hollow. She counts the steps behind her, as if someone might be coming, as if they should be followed. The past does not release. It clings, like salt in a wound, like the taste of Nile mud after a flood. They left Egypt, but Egypt did not leave them. The valley narrows. Walls lean inward, as if the earth itself is listening. A whisper rises, not from lips, from memory. You are mine, not spoken, felt, in the pulse at the wrist, in the dryness of the throat. The covenant was never just law. It was identity, severed, replaced. but the old names still echo in the dark. Slave, property, nothing. One man lifts his face, not to the pillar, to the rock. He presses his palm against the stone, cold, deeper than night. He wonders, did the mountain hear the screams from the kilns? Does it know the weight of a brick in each hand? The law was given. But the body remembers the lash. The soul still waits for permission to breathe. No one speaks of the sea. Not yet. But they feel it. Behind them. Not water. Judgment. A door closed by walls of foam. What if it opens again? What if the water returns, not to save, but to claim? The pillar does not answer. It only stands, as if waiting for a breath that has not yet been taken. The wind shifts, carries a scent, distant, wet, not rain, not river. Something older, something that moves without feet. The canyon holds its breath. The hands tighten on sticks, on children, on nothing. The past is a shadow that walks beside them. The future, a crack in the rock, narrow, unseen, but there. The hand lifts, not the staff. The bare palm, cracked and salt-stained, facing the sea. A gesture not of command, but of surrender. Then, the wind. Not from the east, not from the desert. From below. A subterranean breath tearing upward through the sand. It howls, not like a beast, like a mountain splitting. The air bends, dust spirals in reverse. The surface of the water shudders, then bulges outward, as if something immense beneath is pushing up against the skin of the world. Time folds. The sea obeys. It doesn't retreat. It is drawn. Walls of water rise, not in waves, but in sheer glassy cliffs. Blue-black, translucent, lit from within by a cold, shifting luminescence. They climb, higher, higher, until the horizon is framed by liquid towers, trembling, groaning under their own weight. The foam doesn't fall. It hangs, suspended, like lace caught in an invisible net. The seabed yawns open, wet, glistening, pocked with ancient footprints of creatures long vanished. Mud, thick and sucking, glistens under a moon that has forgotten night. Silence, not empty, full, the kind of quiet that hums. The people stand at the edge, bare feet in the shallows. No one moves. The water laps at their ankles, cold, sharp. A woman's robe drags through the surf, hem darkening with brine. Her breath catches. The child beside her grips her thumb, nails digging. The canyon ahead, dark, narrow. The walls of water arch overhead like the ribs of some primordial beast. Light filters down in fractured columns, bending through the liquid vault. Then, movement. The pillar shifts. Not forward, behind. It glides, silent, over the trembling crowd, settling at their rear like a sentinel. Now it burns, not smoke, flame. A column of white fire, roaring without sound. It casts long, wavering shadows across the mud. The light doesn't warm. It reveals every stone, every ripple, every face turned inward, afraid to look ahead. A man steps, one foot, then the other. The mud sucks at his heel. He stumbles, recovers. The splash echoes, small, fragile, but it breaks the spell. Another follows, then another. Sandals sink. Bare soles press into the cold earth. The hem of a robe drags, leaving a thin trail. A mother lifts her child. His small hand presses against the small of her back. The air smells of salt, of deep water, of something older, like stone breathing. They move, slowly, then faster. A river of bodies flowing between two frozen tides. Thousands. Silhouettes against the glow of the fire behind, dwarfed by the towering walls of water. The light catches the edges of the cliffs, turning them into sheets of molten sapphire. Above, the stars blink, indifferent. The ground is firm, solid, but it feels like walking on the back of a sleeping god. On the ridge, the Egyptians halt. Horses snort. Foam flecks their muzzles. Charioteers squint into the abyss below. One raises a hand, then lowers it. Confusion, then hunger. The scent of prey, the glint of gold in the firelight. The chariots lurch forward. Wheels bite into the slope. Hooves tear at the sand. They descend. Fast, too fast. The mud gives way. The first chariot skids. The driver curses. The second crashes into it. Wood splinters. A horse screams. Below, a child looks up. Through the translucent wall, he sees it. The underbelly of a horse. Pale, trembling, hooves churning. The water distorts the image, bends it like glass. Then another and another. The shadow of a chariot wheel spins, blurred by the current. The child points. His mother pulls him down. The ground trembles, not from the sea, from the weight of pursuit. The pillar flares. A pulse runs through it, white, then red. The fire dips, then surges. From its core, a presence, not seen, felt, in the sudden stillness of the air, in the way the flames no longer flicker but stare. The Egyptian horses rear. One collapses. Another bolts sideways, dragging its chariot into the mud. The wheels, iron-rimmed, heavy, sink. The axles groan. Then, snap. A wheel locks. The chariot flips. Bronze spears shatter against stone. Men scream. Horses thrash. The mud drinks them. A driver wrenches his blade free. He stands, looks up, sees the wall of water, sees the fire, sees the thousands vanishing into the depths. He opens his mouth. No sound comes. The mud pulls him down to his knees. Moses turns. The staff is gone. Only the hand remains. He raises it again, not toward the sea, toward the sky. His fingers splay. The wind dies. The fire dims. The walls of water shudder. A low crack runs through the left cliff, like ice under pressure. Then the right. The light within the water flickers. The mud beneath the feet of the last Israelites hardens. They run now, not walking, running. The child stumbles. The mother lifts him. The fire follows. Close. The first drop falls. Not water, a single bead. It strikes the mud. Then another. Then collapse. The walls do not fall. They crash, like mountains unmoored, like the sky falling to earth. The sound, no word for it. A roar that is not sound, but force. The air is punched from lungs, the ground heaves, the water comes not in waves, but in a single crushing wall. It swallows the chariots, the horses, the men still screaming, the spears, the wheels, the bronze, the gold, the voices, all gone. In an instant, the sea closes, not with a splash, with a sigh. Silence returns, not the silence before. This is different, empty, clean. The shore is wet, smooth, no tracks, no blood, no broken wood, only the gentle lap of waves. The fire dims, flickers, then rises slowly back into the sky. A single star appears, then another. The wind shifts, carries the scent of salt, of open water, of something new. Water, still, reflecting a sky molten with dusk. Gold spills across the surface, unbroken. No ripple, no wake, as if time paused to remember. A hill rises in the distance, bare, silent. Upon it, a cross, not carved, not built, there, like it has always stood. Its shadow stretches long, thin, reaching across the wet sand, touching the edge of the sea. The same sea, the same shore, but now holy ground. The water holds the image of the cross, doubled, one in earth, one in reflection, both real, both eternal. A font appears, not stone, not brass, but memory. Water within it, stirred by unseen breath. A single drop falls, ripples spread, slow, even, each circle widening, touching the edges, then vanishing. The surface returns to glass, a voice not heard but known. They were baptized into Moses. The words do not echo. They rise from the water itself, written in light, in salt, in the memory of footsteps through mud. That sea was no mere path, it was a womb, cold, dark, tight. The old self, bound in chains, branded in dust, entered and did not emerge. Only the new did. The nation born not of blood, but of deliverance, not of birthright, but of drowning.